Welcome back everyone to another episode of the Doom series, and in this video we are going to fix some problems with our texture coordinates for solid walls. So to illustrate the problem that we have, I'm going to open up, I've opened up the WOT file inside of Slate, which is a Doom map editor, and I'm going to open up the E1 M1 map just like that, and we're going to go ahead and press Q to go under 3D mode here. And here I'm going to show you something. So let's just go ahead and move to the final room of this map, which is supposed to be here. So let me just quickly go there. You can see that this we have got this wall here, and in this wall the button is located a little below the center of the wall, and as you can see this wall is so the button is around at the level of the player. It's somewhat below the center of the wall, and you can see that this wall has got a lower unpegged flag set on it. So what does that mean, and how we need to take it into account when doing our own textures? So to do that, we are going to go ahead and exit this. Now in our project we are going to run make to actually run this, and what you can see is that we while get the textures here, and they seem correct at first sight, but if I go into that and room that we talked about, you can see that this button is actually located almost at the floor level, and it is this texture is actually displayed incorrectly if you compare it with the Slate one, and also the offsets on these are a bit incorrect. So there are a couple of problems here that we need to fix with our texture mapping. So to do that, let's go ahead and open up our engine.c, and I'm going to change the way we are doing this a bit. So first of all, let's remove this color. We don't really need that anymore. After this, we are going to calculate a couple of variables. So first of all, we are going to store the texture width and the texture height in a float variable to kind of make accessing this a bit easier. So we're going to get our texture dot width, that's going to be in the texture width variable, and then we're going to also have a texture height variable like that. And these are two floats, and now when we are doing this, we are going to no longer be calculating the min and max 1 values. Instead, what we will do is that we are going to go here and we are going to change this so that we have got 4 floats, tx0 and tx1, and then we have also got ty0, or we should probably say tx0 and ty0, and then tx1 and ty1. So this is a bit more of a sensible name for texture mapping. So we are going to change this to be like this. So we are going to, actually this is supposed to be ty, so ty0, this is going to be tx1 actually, and then this is again going to be tx1, while this is going to be tx0, and here this is going to be ty1, and this is also going to be ty1. So we have got that. Now we are going to calculate two more variables here. One is going to be a width variable, which is essentially going to be the width of the wall divided by the texture height, while texture width, while the height is going to be, you might have guessed, the height of this divided by the texture height. So that should be pretty easy to understand. And after we have done this, we are going to now go ahead and we can say two more variables. So we're going to first of all calculate the x offset, which is going to be equal to our side depth x offset divided by the texture width. So we need to divide the offsets by the texture width as well, because OpenGL operates in the 0 to 1 texture UV coordinate range, not from 0 to whatever the dimensions are. So we need to divide, and here for the y offset, we also need to do the same thing. We are going to divide this by our texture height, and by the way, this needs to be divided by texture height. I was dividing it by the actual h variable, which is not what we want. So after we have this, we are going to set our texture x0 to our x offset. However, because textures in Doom are kind of inverted, well, not really inverted, but the way we have arranged our quads and everything, it's going to be inverted. So we are going to have to make it y offset plus actually not plus, yeah, plus height here. So the ty0 is the one that's going to have height added, and the ty1 is not going to have height added, while the tx1 is going to have the height added like that, actually the width added like this. So this is going to calculate these correctly, and it's essentially the same as what we had earlier, just a bit cleaner and easier to understand, I think. But well, now it will allow us to implement the pegging operation quite easily as well. But what you should see is that this offset is now correctly. So we are getting the pipe texture here like we're supposed to, so the offset problem is fixed. However, this is still being too low. The reason behind this is a concept known as pegging. So in Doom, a texture is by default pegged to the top. This means is that if I, for example, run this and you go under any texture, the texture is drawn in such a way that the top of the wall is the top of the texture, while the bottom of the wall may not be the bottom of the texture. It depends on the size of the wall. So basically it means that the top is always the the top of the wall is always the zero coordinate of the texture, and this is true for most walls. However, some walls can have a lower unpacked flag set. So if that flag is set on the line def, what this means is that the bottom of the texture is going to be at the bottom of this wall. However, the top of the texture may not be the top of the wall, which means the texture is going to be clipped at the top instead of at the bottom like it is currently. So for that I have gone in my map.h and I have added two more defines for two more flags. One is the upper unpacked, one is the lower unpacked. We currently only care about the lower unpacked for one-sided wall. We'll use the upper unpacked in the next video when we are doing the portal or the two-sided walls. For now, let's do the lower unpacked one. So we are going to go ahead and after we have calculated the offsets, we are going to add a simple check. So this is going to be a check which is going to be, we're going to get our line def flags and we are going to check if it is line def flags lower unpacked. If it is lower unpacked, then we need to alter our y offset a bit. All we need to do actually is we need to subtract from this our height or the h variable that we have got here. We essentially need to just subtract that and this is going to work. So we are going to go ahead and run this, and what you should be able to see is that now if I go ahead and go in this last room where the flag is set, you can see that now our texture is indeed the bottom of the texture is in the bottom of the wall, while the top of the texture is clipped, and this switch is being displayed at the correct location. So that's basically how the pegging logic is supposed to work. And now all of the solid walls, at least only the solid walls by the way, not the other ones, these solid walls should be rendered correctly and we should be able to see everything here. You can see that it's working quite well, and yeah, it seems to be everything seems to be quite alright here. Now of course the transparent textures are not currently working correctly. They're not being transparent. Actually this is black, but we'll implement and finalize those later. In the next video we are actually going to focus on the other textures like these top textures or this door or all of the other textures like stairs and stuff, the two-sided wall def, two-sided line def. So we're gonna do that in the next video, so stay tuned for that. Make sure to like and subscribe as well and share this video with other people, and I'll see you in the next one.